all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. Look, I'm married to this game, that's who I made my wife. Said I die alone, I told that bitch probably right. One thing that's for sure, not a stranger to this life. Got a safe that's full of Franklins and a shoulder full of stripes. Don't know a nigga like myself.
What is this thing? You know, I understand cryptocurrency, I understand an unregulated form of currency, I understand peer-to-peer transactions online, but what is Filecoin? And so, basically what it is there's a huge amount of value in this cryptocurrency space with trading and exchanging different forms of currency, different times of acquisition, different times of selling. It's very similar to the stock market. So there's people over the last 5-6 years that became very successful trading currencies via different platforms. And so what it is there'll be a big trade that takes place and you'll hear about it next week. And they try to mirror it, but the opportunity came and passed. Very similar to stocks. So what happened with Filecoin? Filecoin gives you the opportunity. It blends the social networking element with the purely financial element of being involved and being aware of great opportunities with socializing people that know about the great opportunities. So what it is, it's a mix, and it's a platform where you can follow successful traders. You already know the top 10 traders in cryptocurrency, and if you don't, they'll be listed, or the top 50, or the top 100, however dynamic you want to be.
I say self-made, meaning I design myself. County jail fade, you can pull my file yourself. Spot raid, swallow rocks, I'm getting high myself. Nah, and damn right I like the life I built. I'm from West Side 60, shit I might got killed. Standing so tall, they think I might got stills. Legendary baller like Mike, like Wilt.
Less than 1% penetration, and that's a fact because I can't spend Bitcoin here. I gotta still spend US dollars or MasterCard credit or, you know, established credit. Any one of these stores, there's no penetration in the real world. But there's a $27 to $800,000 increase in investment in this space. But there's a 1% penetration in the real world. So what happens when it gets 5% real world? When more people can spend their cryptocurrency at the store, at the restaurant, on the airplane, which is why we came to Amsterdam, because there's a city out here where the whole city is cryptocurrency friendly. And this is an example of what's gonna happen to the rest of the world. And we think that if you get in now, when the value spreads, when the accessibility spreads, you'll be sitting on the right chair. And you know, being out here further brought that to my attention, reinforced my belief in it, and we put our money where our mouth is.
96 Impala, thug life on wheels. Up against the wall, squabble at Fox Hills. Like a motherfucking boss, ask me how I feel. Successful street nigga touching them first meals. All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why all my life I've been grinding all my life.
And what you'll do is you'll allocate a certain amount of your investment budget. You'll say, I got 100,000 total, I got 10,000 total, I got 5,000 total. And you'll say, I want to allocate 1,000 toward this influencer. So the next moves he makes, $1,000 of your investment fund will mirror his moves in real time. You could be asleep, you could be on a plane, you could be wherever, and he make a move. Your portfolio that you've allocated towards him will move when he moves. So you might have 10 influencers you follow. You might have 100,000 invested and put 10 toward each one. The 2 successful moves might cover the 8 unsuccessful moves. You might have more information where you go really heavy into these 2 investors because you know what they're doing, and you know you might invest the whole 100 into these 2, 50-50. But the type of returns that we're seeing in cryptocurrency is not 10%, it's not 7%, it's 700%. You know, it's being informed in real time. And I feel like that's the generation we living in, you know? It ain't no read the newspaper, we checking Twitter. We get real-time updates on what goes on in the world. So when it comes to the changes in the economic values, we should be informed real time. And all the opportunities that exist in cryptocurrency are time sensitive. And so, you know, outside of the strength of the company, the capacity of the owner, just the model that they built was unique. So we wanted to come see it. And when we saw it, it was something that we wanted to write a check for immediately. You know, so we cashed out yesterday. We locked in our acquisition of a percentage.
Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. Look, I got everything I said I was gonna get on my kid. In addition to that fact, I went legit. I'm the shit now according to the way that I'm positioned in this biz. It look.
That's definitely the cornerstone to, you know, maximizing the value. Is try to maintain the ownership of the master.
Speaking of maximizing value, you had a line about Ross.
Yeah.
And you said you appreciate that Ross is teaching wealth.
Yeah. You know, I feel like that's what you're supposed to do. You know, I look at moves from the outside looking in. The message that, you know, Ross sprinkle in, or even when they don't sprinkle it, say it outright. I think that's the most empowering message right now, you know. So I just, again, all the writing on the album came out natural, but I felt like I wanted to just speak to that. We inspired by that as the next generation under that era. It's also young kids that's being molded by what's being said in rap music. So, you know, it's a line between preaching and just keeping it a thousand and being thorough. And so, yeah, I was just tipping my hat to something I think is thorough.
What do you think are the keys to building wealth?
Man, I think that it's a formula, and then it's also some things that's intangible. To own something is very important. To understand investment, you know, to understand living within your means or under your means, you know, to understand how to make something, you know. I think that's what's been critical for me, is I make something. I take something from zero and I make it, which is music, and that's a very powerful tool to be able to like come into a room and create something out of nothing. And so that's worked for me. But then there's people that, you know, master that part of the game but consume so fast that it's hard to even get ahead. So it's a combination of things, and I ain't the poster boy for it, but at the end of the day, that's the direction we walking toward, is becoming wealthy to the level that it's not gonna go away. And that, you know, we create a situation that it lasts longer than us.
Know that Westside RSCs is us. LAPD on my dick, I'ma squeeze and bust. If a rap nigga diss, Swiss cheese is bust. All this rap money, nigga, look, I need too much. Money, loyalty, and love, in the dream we trust. You'll be switching up the players on your team too much. Tiny Copy, that's my low, Young Supreme, what's up? And we travel around the world getting cream or what?
I've always feel like one of the things I admire about you the most is you're always very forward thinking.
Right.
You were on a panel at Complex Con. What are some of the takeaways that you would want people to know about like digital currency? Or?
It's a way to think about money. It was 3 or 4 different perspectives. I was one of them. And the convo was just about what is money in 2017 going into 18. You know, is it paper? You know, is it agreed value? What makes something currency? You know, so that was what the debate was, and everybody was revolving around that as a question. But just cryptocurrency is, I think it's like a form of karma. I think that the banks had such a crooked model that the engineers and software designers and programmers was like, we're not gonna fix this with a protest. We're not gonna fix this with a march on Wall Street. We're gonna fix this with technology. And they created a equalizer that just, it checkmated the whole game. You know, that's my view on it. It's just like the energy balancing out what went wrong over there, and just the disadvantage that the people were at. The cryptocurrency's balancing that out, or will in the long run. It's gonna take a while, but it's gonna create an option, and you're not gonna have to go operate in that system that led to like 2008, all the banks collapsing and the real estate bubble and all the malpractice of power that, you know, was happening in the banking industry and the central banks and all that. So it's like, damn, that was slick. Whoever came up with that was slick. If you really peep it from a political point of view,
For sure.
you know what I mean? That was real effortless checkmate. You know what I mean? They exited before anybody knew what was up.
And they still got bailed out.
You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. It's an interesting conversation. I've had it with some people And some people are like stuck on money so much, and I'm like, man, money's not even backed by the gold system anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like, what is it really worth? It's whatever we want to put on it, but really it's just a piece of paper, just like a credit card, just a piece of plastic, and it's the inferred value that we put on it. And as long as everybody assumes that it's worth that, it is. But if somebody tomorrow's like, that's not worth shit, it's really not backed by anything. So it's like, why not try out a new currency?
It's a lot of reasons that, political reasons why it's a big thing, and it's financial reasons why it's a big thing, and even like on a simple level of like sending money overseas or something, to be able to do that peer-to-peer and not have no middleman with a fee, and with a policy, it's just a direct transaction that's, regulated by a public ledger. That's a big innovation if you understand like banking and PayPal and all that type of shit. Somebody told me that it's like what the internet was in like the early 90s, and think about what that turned into and all the billion-dollar businesses that was built off of that. That's like what the cryptocurrency, blockchain opportunity is similar to. So it'll take a while before we see it mature and really turn into what it can potentially be.
Ain't you get off on whoever hustle seem to rush? Las Vegas strip pop, yeah, you creamed them punks. After all that looking tough, all he seen was stunts. 50 Cent and Mayweather flee the scene with us. True story. All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why all my life.
How's everybody feeling right now? Are you guys excited to see Nipsey Hussle? All right, then I need you guys all to put your hands together for Nipsey Hussle. Hey. Because you mentioned waiting, it just brought to my mind that you were one of the first people to talk about cryptocurrency.
Right.
And my sister, for instance, invested a few years ago. She bought Bitcoin for like, I think it was $600 a share.
Oh, she passed.
And so now when it's up to 10 racks plus, like, how do you project that, especially the urban youth who are like, cryptocurrency, what if I can't touch it? You know what I mean?
I mean, it's just something that this is the infant stage of that whole category. It's an investment category, so educate yourself. Obviously, don't just follow what nobody say. But I feel like, to get in Apple really early, or to get in Uber, or to get in any one of these companies that ended up becoming so major, you hear them stories about how beneficial being early was. And so I just wanted to be vocal about the opportunity, and just like, let everybody hear somebody that's in rap and that's in hip hop talking about it, so it'll hit their consciousness, and if anything, they just go do their research about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you sell off any of your Bitcoin when it hit its peak a couple weeks ago?
I didn't know it had hit its peak. I knew it was growing. I'm like, it's gonna go to 100,000. We gonna hit a lick. But I mean, I'm in it for the long run though, so I'm just chilling. I ain't looking to cash out no time soon. I'm gonna just pay attention to where, like I said, I think it can continue to grow. Imagine when you could go to Routes and spend Bitcoin.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's that gonna do to the price of the coin? So I think that when they like integrate more places you can actually spend it, the value gonna shoot up even more.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. Look.